Welcome to another episode of Until It's Done, a devoted podcast. I'm your host, Dana Lynn Kay, and you guys, we have an amazing episode today. This is one a lot of you guys have asked me about. If you follow Devotion's Instagram, you have seen her. No doubt. She is the fiery redhead who is fit and fierce and unbelievable. Clare Morrow is here with me today. Hi, Clare.
Hey, girl. Thanks for having me.
So Clare is in Texas. I'm in South Florida. I've been dying. I wanted Clare to come to South Florida. We're still going to make that happen. We're going to do a live podcast, but I feel like, the new year's coming up and Clare is so motivational. Her story's unbelievable. Her platform's unbelievable. So I was like, we just got to get you on. Let's just do this Zoom and then we'll get our first episode going and then we're going to have follow-ups because I know you have so much to talk about. So do I. So first of all, Clare and I go way back. Clare, when did you find Devotion? Because this is,
Yeah. I tell people all the time, like, I'm not that, can I cuss?
Yeah, go for it. It's a podcast.
I'm not that shitfluencer that's going to share something with you that she doesn't use herself. And I've been using Devotion since I met Randy in 2000, not my husband, Randy, but my girl that I know, Randy.
Right.
2015 or 16, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And started talking to you not there long after, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. So Clare, obviously Clare's very recognizable. You've had your gorgeous red hair and you've been on, you and I actually knew each other on Facebook. And I was competing in figure, cause I had competed for about 10 years and that was, I was like big with all that. And I know Randy and obviously that's how you found out about Devotion. She was using it. Yeah. And I remember I would see you post about Devotion. And I was always like so flattered because I'm like, oh my God, this woman, she's so cute and she's fit. And I don't know what you're a bikini pro. I mean, you started, cause we're going to go back on your story, but I'm just trying to catch everyone up about how you and I connected. Cause I do want people to understand our relationship and how far we go back because, I just scrolled back today just for shits and giggles, like in Facebook, in my messenger, because I'm like a messenger hoarder where I won't delete messages. And so I'm like, I went and I looked up Clare in Facebook and I'm scrolling back and I'm like, I remember when you reached out to me and I screenshot it because you were like, hey girl, I'm in bikini prep and I'm going to Barbados and I'm surviving my prep bringing angel food cake with me. You ended up taking a picture on vacation. You're like, I brought it to the bartender. I asked him to blend this up. And he was like, oh my God, what is this stuff? Because it was like this creamy shake or whatever. And then you later reached out to me because you had been using it for like a long time. And you didn't have like any big platform. I know you posted and you would do stuff, and maybe you had clients, but you said, hey, a lot of people are asking me about it whenever I post. Do you mind if I have a code? I'd love to give people a discount. Doesn't have to be anything in it for me. I just, would really love to share this product because I'm using it. I'm loving it. And I remember I made you a code and I was like, oh, this is so nice of her. Wow, thanks for sharing, the product. I'm so glad you like it. And then years later, and you gave out the code and, it would be used or whatever. And then when COVID hit, and you and I were always still, you'd write me and we'd talk and we'd send stuff. But I remember you then said, hey, I'm going to go on this platform called TikTok.
Yeah. My marketing girl called me up. She says, you need to get on TikTok. I'm like, why? And I'm glad I took her advice because, that was when before it was cool, and everybody started getting on when they realized you could, do well on there if you were halfway decent, I guess. But I don't know. And I just started making recipes and posting about it. And one thing led to another. And it just steamrolled after that. Yeah.
And I got to benefit because you were like, I'm posting about Devotion because I use Devotion. And you're like, I'm just going to give out my code and people are going to, the women are going to love it. And people were loving you and all your tips and you were sharing all your fitness stuff. And I was like, wow. And, so many people started then, trying Devotion because of you, especially in that, segment, you know, women, I mean, you're over 50 and you're proving that you can be in like amazing shape, the best shape of your life at any age. And it was just, your platform just blew up. And what I loved about it was the fact that you were like, look, I'm posting because I love it. Like, I'm not going to try to link up with some other protein company and say that I'm using their stuff when I'm not. Like, I'm using your stuff. So it was like, it was amazing. And I got on TikTok kicking and screaming because I was like, oh my God, I don't want to do, you kept yelling at me like a big sister, like,
get on. Get on. I'm like, you got to get on. And you got on right when it was like still kind of cool.
Yeah.
The algorithm was great. And then, like a year later, the algorithm.
Oh, it sucks.
If you're listening to this and you're on TikTok or Instagram, please interact with the creators you actually want to see on your feeds.
Yeah.
Because if you don't interact with their posts, guess what? You're training your algorithm not to show you their posts.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that, unfortunately. And they'll say, oh, Claire, I haven't seen you in a long time. I'm like, yeah, I've been here. You just
yeah, please
interact to keep seeing.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it's like, and there's so much, it's overwhelming. There's so much. I mean, I remember in the beginning, you'd constantly be trying to help me even get my page going and all my stuff because I was so late to the game. And I mean, you were like my TikTok school. I mean, you're my mentor or whatever, because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And I mean, I know that you wanted me to be successful too on there because it's a great platform. It's just like you said, now with the algorithm. Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, what you do is phenomenal. I mean, you're helping hundreds of thousands of women. I mean, your following is over 1 million on TikTok, and then your Instagram has blown up as well. And what you do, I mean, you're changing lives. I think it's unbelievable. I love it. I love all the topics you talk about. It always, it's great for me. I mean, even though, I'm into the fitness too. I've been in, doing what you're doing for a long time, but even for me to see the stuff and I'm like, it's great. It's reiterating it to people like me who do a lot of, who live the fitness lifestyle. And then it's teaching women who think that the ship has sailed. I mean,
oh yeah.
So when did you start? Because here's the thing, everyone, I'm taking it for granted right now. Claire wrote a book. You wrote a book called Fluffy to Fit.
Yeah.
It's on Amazon. It's unbelievable. I read it last year when I was on vacation. With my kids. It was over the holiday. It was actually over, I think, it was like last year. Did it come out a year ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I read it while I was on vacation and I was like, this is an awesome book. And Claire tells her story in it. And she really walks you through, like she's holding your hand on how to really get started. Because when you look at somebody like Claire, you're like, oh my God, I can never, that's overwhelming. So what motivated you to write the book?
Oh man, I had all kinds of people saying, what video I know you posted a video on this or that or a plateau or whatever it was. Now I can't find it. And so I wrote all my tips basically and all, how to do it from A to Z, whether you're a beginner to intermediate to advanced, full workouts, where to find your macros, what to do, full meal plan, the whole thing. And I put it all in the book. And, I figured now you could at least have something to refer to without having to go find a video. You're searching for it and you can't seem to find it, right? Because we all save videos and we're like, I'm a video hoarder. I'll be like, oh crap, where was that video saved from like a month ago? Now I can't find it because I saved like 20 others since then, right? So, that was part of it. And I had a girl help me. I had a marketing girl that's helped me, the one that got me on TikTok. She's like, I'll help you write it. So we sat down together and one thing led to another. It took us about 8 months to write that section.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And it's great. It's like a little Bible for anybody who needs that little handbook to refer to, or, you're like, oh, well, what do I do about my macros, or what should I do about cardio? What do I do about, it's like the answers are all in there. You really lay it out, and it really, for any level. I mean, even for myself reading it, I'm like, oh, you know what? That's good, Claire. Like, it's great for everyone. My mom read it. My aunt bought it and read it. I mean, oh yeah, I shared the love. We were telling, and, it's in my night table. I still, use it and refer to it. It's something that you can go back to. So, So thank you for writing that. I think that's awesome. And it's something that when people because I'm not a coach and, I own a brand, and I'm heavily into fitness, but when people are like, oh, Dana, can you tell me where to start? I'm like, start by buying Claire's book.
Thanks, honey. I appreciate it. But more than anything, I put my heart and soul into it. I wanted to help people from the bottom of my heart. And that's why we do the videos on TikTok, right? Because we really do want to help people. And truthfully, to me, that's the meaning of life. You know, if I'm lucky enough to stand before God after I pass away and he asks me, what did you do with your life to help other people? I want to have an answer for that, truly.
Yeah.
So it's soul food for me. That's why I do it. I get that question sometimes. But yeah, the book it's just been great. We've had great reviews on Amazon. It's been a bestseller. The cookbook's been a bestseller. So I can't complain. And that's the other thing. Devotion saved my life. You guys, you don't know. I used to be a binge eater just like you.
Yeah.
I know you had struggled with that too, and I think a lot of women do. Once the sugar gets in my system, it is on like Donkey Kong, and I cannot stop. So devotion taught me how I can still get sweet in my system, but not leave me with that shaky, sugary, I got to have more feeling.
Right.
And it literally saved my binge eating. So all your recipes that, I created some recipes and snag yours a lot. It really helped me, channel that and learn, how to get my sweet treats in. And then in my cookbook, I talk about that, but I also talk about, how to eat pizza every day and get away with it, right?
Yep.
And have a 200-calorie pizza, and it's huge that you can eat every single day and, still lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the thing is learning how to eat healthy, but still make it taste good, right?
Right. It's like, we're trying to show people how to have it all. I mean, I just saw on Instagram, there's a guy who posts content. I mean, you know how some of these content creators are trying to make people feel good when he did a thing called, you probably saw it. He showed a fitness influencer and he's like, so many people think that they're so happy and they look so great, but really they're just eating lettuce and they have no social life. And they're trying to make the fitness lifestyle sound like it's so miserable. And I reposted on my page and I said, I disagree with this because I have a great life and I eat great food and I am fit and healthy and I walk around with a fit body and I don't feel that way at all. Like, and so, I mean, we're women out here trying to show people like you can have your shake and eat it too. Like you can have it all. I mean, you and Randy go out to dinner and you travel and you have a great time.
Sure, we do. Now, do we do it every weekend? No. But we do travel. We do eat out occasionally. The one thing I have scaled back on though is drinking. And the reason for that is because alcohol slows your fat loss down to a crawl. Yeah. Especially when you're older because your digestion slows down, your liver processing of food slows down. Over age 40, a lot of people don't realize that. That's why we bloat and gain weight so easily. We just can't eat the same crap we could when we were 20 and 30 years old. So culminate that with alcohol, which is a toxin, the second you ingest it, your body has to process it. So it doesn't really have time to process food. So I've pulled back on that. But going deeper, they've recently linked cancer to 7 different types of cancer to alcohol. So for me, that's huge because my mom, my dad, my aunts, my uncles, all of them died of cancer and all of them drink 3 to 4 times a week. I'm like, that's enough for me.
Yeah, no, that's plenty. I'm not a drinker at all. I mean, if I ever have a social drink, maybe like, I don't even know, I can count on one hand over the years. And I milk it. I mean, first of all, I don't even feel good the next day. I mean, I feel it so much in my body and I'm just like, why even bother? Yeah. So I feel you on the alcohol because I'm not a drinker. And, and I feel like, I don't know. I was the type that I was like, I'd rather eat my calories. I don't want to drink them.
Exactly. Yeah.
That too.
I'm the same.
Yeah, that too.
So it's not like I never drink. I just rarely drink. So like maybe 3 or 4 times a year I'll drink.
So but that's what I'm saying. Like social, it's like I can count on one hand, like when and if I do, I'm milking the drink. It's not like I'm like going hard on drinking all night. That to me isn't even a good time. I don't know. It's just not, yes. I end up feeling sick. I'm in bed early. I'm just like, why did I do this? It's just not for me. Every now and then we need like the reminder that like drinking is not what it's cracked up to be. Okay. So tell me, so you got into the game late. I mean, you are, I mean, you're now over 50, right? You're what, like 51?
I'll be 52 in December. Yeah. So,
whoa.
I started when I was 42. So it's been almost 10 years. Been just over 9 years. Than when I started. Now, when I was 38, like on the cover of my book, I've got Fluffy Fit. I was at my fluffiest at 38. And that was because I was doing everything wrong. And plus I had a thyroid issue I didn't know about. Okay. I was drinking 2 to 3 times per week, not realizing how much it was slowing my progress down. I was under eating during the week, which was causing me to overeat on the weekends. Because if you don't eat enough during the day, it causes you to binge eat. So I was having that problem as well. So those three things was what I was doing wrong. So once I did lose the fat and kind of, halfway get there, I didn't like how it looked because I looked skinny fat, right? Skinny fat meaning you have no shape anymore because you're over 40 or close to it at the time. And but not that I had much butt to begin with because my gene pool does not say big butt at all. It's like I come from a long line of flat asses and smart asses. So I was very flat anyway, but it was just worse,
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, how do I fix? And I had some loose skin, and I'm like, oh, how do I fix this? And the only thing I could think of was build muscle, and so that's what I did, and I went after it hard.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've been able to put on beautiful muscle in you said 9 years. I mean, in the scheme of things, 9 years to just make that part of your lifestyle. It goes by pretty quickly. And if you're just adding weight training to your regimen, I know women get intimidated and they're like, oh, I don't know where I could start and I'll never build that. But it's like, you got to just start somewhere. And you started like later than a lot. I started when I was 12 and it's like you probably have more muscle than I have. And you started before me. After me. So, it's like you can start anytime.
Yeah. And I want to reiterate that, it doesn't take that long to build muscle. I made a lot of mistakes, so it took me too long. I overtrained. Don't do that. It doesn't end well. When you overwork a muscle, it actually shrinks, doesn't grow. Thinking of like marathon runners, they run every day. They run their muscles into the ground. That's why they look long, lean, and stringy, which is great if you want to look like that. But if you're trying to build muscle, that's not what we want to do.
Right.
So, but also I want to say to your ladies, listen, don't worry about how long it's going to take this because the time will pass anyway.
Yes.
You said that to me, and it really resonated.
Oh, amen to that. That's what I always think. It's going to pass anyway. And it's like, if you just make it your lifestyle and what you do, it's part of, you go to the gym, you do and so like you were saying though, a lot of times on social media, people will say, well, you spend your life in the gym or you must spend hours and hours at the gym. And I'm like, no, I actually I did a 20-minute pump that real quick before I take my kid to soccer. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't spend that. What does your week look like? How much do you spend in the gym? How much time did you have to?
You're right. People think it's a misconception. People think because you're a pro athlete or you look a certain way that you live in the gym, and that's just not true. I literally lift 5 days a week, sometimes 4, for an hour a day, and I walk 10,000 steps a day, which means I'll get up, do some fasted walking on my treadmill, and then eat breakfast. I'll walk a little bit before my workout, a little bit after my workout, just to get steps in because we burn the most calories on our all-day activity. I do not do cardio.
Yeah.
If I do cardio, my ass will disappear. Literally, my muscles will just get run into the ground. I don't do Stairmaster. I don't do any of that crap. Because, ladies, it is 80% diet to lose fat and to build muscle as well. It's you can't outrun your fork, first off.
Yep.
And second off, it's the training is the easy part. It really is. It's 5 days a week. Split up your body parts. Don't do full workouts. They are full body. They are not effective. And let me tell you why. You cannot get to every single body part efficiently and let it rest enough to get it to grow correctly. That's why we split up our body parts. That's really important. And if any of you listening to this need any help or questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram at Clare Morrow _IFBB Pro. I'm happy to help. Just don't spell my name with an I at CLARE.
Yeah, and we'll make sure we put all your correct info and all of so everyone can find you. Because Clare is a wealth of knowledge and she's proving, I hear a lot when women say to me, because I'm going to be 44 this year, and women will say, well, just wait until you hit blah, blah age, or wait till I've always been told that, wait till you hit 40. And I was like, okay. And then I've done photo shoots at 40 that I'm like, I don't know, I'm pretty proud of that. And then they'll say, well, wait till you hit whatever. It's always wait until. They're always warning me. And I'm like, and I've had my 71 she's about to be on December 1st, 71-year-old mother in here. And she's like, well, really? Because oh my gosh, she's like, Dana, I was in the best shape of my life in my 50s and 60s. Like my mom, and so these women warning others as though, waiting as though it's like, you're about to hit some time in your life where it's just all going to go to shit. And I'm like, no, that's because you let it go to shit. And also,
there's a reason, like back then, like our moms or grandmoms or whatever, they didn't have the technology that they have now.
Right.
Why? So like my mom, she was British, right? I was born in England, just so you guys know. Anyway, my mom, she used to say, "Oh, Claire, you're young now. But wait till you get into your 40s, love, you get that bloody middle-aged spread." I was talking about belly fat that happened.
Yeah.
She didn't know why that happened. And it's a combination of our digestion slowing down, like I mentioned earlier. We just can't eat the same crap we used to when we were 20 and 30 years old and get away with it. And I'm sure the women are laughing right now because they can relate. Number two, it's hormone imbalance.
Yeah.
So as we get older, our hormones are like the wiring in the body that control absolutely everything.
Yep.
So literally it goes haywire. We start getting all this belly fat we've never had before, hair loss, low energy, low libido, can't sleep at night, acne, hot flashes. Oh my gosh, the litany of things. Can't lose weight easily. So if you're experiencing those symptoms, you've got to get your hormones checked.
Yeah.
It's like your body is running on 5 cylinders instead of 8 if you're a car, right? The paint may be chipping, but you can do something about the engine.
Yes.
So definitely get your hormones checked. Now, don't go to a GP or an OBGYN for that. You need a wellness or HRT doctor. I'm a wellness coach. This is what I do day in and day out with ladies. So I do have a good one that does telemedicine anywhere in the US. I have a couple in the UK, a couple in Canada, a couple in Australia. If you guys need any of them, just DM me on Instagram. I'm happy to help. Or find a wellness specialist in your area, because once you get your hormones balanced, and here's another myth. Oh, I don't want to get on HRT. It causes cancer. No, it does not. Back in Mom's day, they had problems with it. But nowadays, technology has changed. So the bioidentical hormones, meaning it mimics what your body already does, is safe. So please don't be scared of that, okay? I've got cancer all in my family, every which direction. Yeah. And I've been on HRT since I was 42. So it's safe.
Yeah. And the other thing is, so it's really bringing it all together with making sure your hormones are balanced. Yeah. And then making sure you're not also like slowing down that lifestyle. Cause I said to my mom, when my mom said, and I started putting on belly fat, or I started to do, and not, my mom put on a little bit of weight, then headed more towards her 70s, like when she turned 70. And I said, Mom, it's because you slowed down. Like you weren't getting in the activity you used to get in, and you stopped walking, and you stopped, you also started to, drink the wine and have the cheese and crackers and do the things that maybe when you were younger, you didn't care about doing, you didn't have the time to do all the things. And so it's also lifestyle changes where, so the things come together, the hormones, and then you're slowing down because, as life changes, people slow down. You go into retirement, you're not hustling with the work life and the kids and all the stuff. And then you're like, I just want to kind of take it easy. And it's like, yeah, but you're not moving. You're not, my mom used to wash the car and mow the lawn. And I'm like, Mom, you're not doing that anymore. So, we've got to remember all those things also, come into play. And a lot of times when people, they'll think back, because I said that to my mom and she's like, you know what, you're right. Like I sit and I scroll on my phone. Like I'm not doing the stuff that I used to do. So, but that's, I do get a lot of women who, and they're probably very excited to listen to this podcast today, who do want to talk about staying fit over 50. And I mean, that's why they're so excited for you to be on. Do you still find I know you work your tail off to continue to optimize yourself, your health. I mean, you look at your husband looks phenomenal. I mean, you both are really taking care of yourselves into your older years, which, once I feel like, 40 is a time when we see the biggest changes. I mean, I was, right?
Yeah. That's when the hormone imbalance starts to happen. Late 30s, early 40s. So those symptoms I mentioned earlier, belly fat, hair loss, can't lose weight, can't sleep at night, low libido, low energy, especially the fatigue, brain fog. That's another one. If you're experiencing any of that stuff, get your hormones checked immediately. But go to a wellness doctor. They see the numbers better. The GPs, OBGYNs, they'll tell you you're fine or within normal range when you're not.
Yeah. Okay. So let me think what else. Okay. So social media, what are some things that you see that you are myth? I mean, I want to do some myth busting here, because there's a lot of misinformation. I feel like women sometimes get overwhelmed by all the stuff that's thrown at them on social media, and a lot of them end up doing nothing because they get so or they're doing things and they're pulled in so many directions. One of the things, let's talk about carbohydrates.
Oh God. They're not the devil. They're not. Eating too many calories will make you fluffy, not the carbs. It's a combination of things. Just stick to the natural carbs, sweet potatoes, Japanese yams, rice, stick to the natural foods, eat the food that nature made most of the time.
Yeah.
Because it's going to feed your body. I mean, most of the time that's what I eat. I do devotion in my coffee and supplement it here and there or make treats with it, but I certainly don't eat it all day long.
Right.
That I have natural foods as well.
Yep.
And I'm not afraid to say that. Dana knows that.
Yeah.
So just make sure you're eating good carbs because you do need them for energy. And here's a misconception about carbs. When you're lifting weights, you need the carbs. So when you eat carbs, they turn into glycogen that goes into your muscle, right? Well, that glycogen gets stored in your muscles and helps you push in the gym so you're stronger. So a lot of these women that are doing fasted lifting, don't do that. You're never going to progress if you do that because you need to feed your body to push and get stronger. And I can hear a lot of women are going, oh my God, I don't have time to eat in the morning. Then take a devotion, put it with some overnight oats and throw it in the fridge the night before so it's ready to go in the morning. And then eat the second you get up because your body needs fuel to push. And if you're not doing that, then you're starving your body of the protein and the carbs it needs to have the energy. It's like putting no gas in your Ferrari.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I've been showing that for years, because I'm a mom of 3. My kids are young. My mornings are crazy busy getting everyone up and off to school and everything. And my go-to is always oatmeal and devotion. I mean, devotion, I show like on my platforms where I make my slow cooker chicken and I eat, I just like you, I have my salmon and my potatoes. I eat lots of other foods. It's not just devotion. What we show with devotion's like whole purpose is for busy people. It's great when you are saying like, look, I need something. Also, a lot of people don't want to eat a lot of heavy stuff before they go to the gym. And so devotion and oatmeal is not like I don't know. It settles well with me. So I can like still go and work out. And I'm not like, oh my God, I just like ate. And I can't be standing there making eggs and all this stuff in the morning. Like I just don't have time for that. So yeah, throwing devotion in a bowl with oatmeal. I throw mine in the microwave, make a little water. It's like, boom, I'm out the door. And that's an easy one. And then the other purpose of devotion is, like you said, the sweet treats where I can only eat so much like egg whites and, chicken and turkey and other stuff before I'm finally like, okay, I just need something else. Like I need something sweet because that's where devotion came into play for me was that like I would do so well for so long and then I would need chocolate or I would need to feel like I need something sweet at night and I would end up doing perfectly on my diet all day long or my plan. And then all of a sudden it's nighttime and I want to watch TV or we want to watch a movie. And now I'm in my freaking pantry eating chips or eating chocolate chips or doing something stupid or eating the kids' cookies. And then I was like, oh, why'd I do that? So
what am I doing?
Right. And so what I've loved and I've seen on your platform because I pay attention to your stuff. I mean, through all the time now that you've been posting about devotion, a lot of the women will be like, thank you so much. Because of course we all know we're going to make our chicken, we're going to make our salads, we're going to do our stuff. But it's like, then what? Like, I need something else. And I want to stay devoted. I want to stay on my plan.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what my favorite thing is to do is to take the brownie batter and mix it with the PB Fit and make a Reese's peanut butter cup pudding because it's so fast to make.
Yeah.
And those of you who've never tried that, it's literally a scoop of devotion, brownie batter with a little bit of water and PB Fit, 1 tablespoon. And it's like a Reese's peanut butter cup freaking amazingness pudding. And that really satisfies my cravings,
Yep.
I love that. So that's what I primarily, and a coffee creamer. I use it for my coffee creamer in the morning as well. So yeah, and it's also got digestive enzymes in it too, which helps you digest because as we get older, we bloat easy. And, I hear a lot of women are lactose intolerant. Guess what? Me too. Yeah. But, the brownie batter especially sits really, really well with me. I'm actually allergic to vanilla, so I can't do a lot of the angel food cake. But the simple cinnamon I do in my coffee. And good. Sometimes I do the brownie batter too.
But it's just like it takes the edge off of the fact that we do need to be on point. Nutrition has to be, it's very important. Like you said, it's 80%, but we're also human and we do have cravings. And if we're being realistic, like when you're in your preps for bikini shows and I used to do figure, sure. Okay. I was like, okay, I'm eating for a purpose and I'm training and I'm trying to win a show or I'm trying to whatever. And that's fine. But when we're talking about mainstream women lifestyle, even us, when we're not like doing a photo shoot or we're not doing a prep or we're not whatever, it's like, okay, if I'm expected to stay this diligent, then like I do need something that is crushing that little sweet tooth. I do need, like when I do make the protein coffee, it's like, it just like, it tastes good. And I'm like, that satisfied me. And like, I feel good. Like I have that in the afternoon as a pick me up if I need to, and those are the little things. And I've been so happy with your platform, always showing women that like, look, like you don't have to give up the sweet treats. Like we're going to show you how to not totally like, cause look, if somebody ate all day long, say they ate exactly how in your book you tell them, what to eat with the foods and the chicken and your rice and the whatever it is. And then the end of the day, they go and they take 2 big scoops of Ben and Jerry's and a handful of chips and whatever. Well, you just ruined what you did.
Exactly. Yeah. You just screwed yourself. Exactly right. So yeah, I mean, you don't have to starve yourself. You don't have to, so many women go too low on calories, and I want to throw this out there too. Yeah. Your body, ladies, needs 1,300 calories to run itself. Think about that. Your hair, your skin, your nails, your organs require 1,300 calories. I don't care how tall you are, how short you are. Okay, that's just kind of a guideline there. You need 1,300 calories to run yourself. So when you start going below that, guess what? Your hair starts falling out. You start feeling like a bag of ass because you got no energy. Yep. So feed your body, okay? Just try to get enough protein in, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. It is not hard to do. I've got videos on how to get protein in. Devotion helps. Put it in your coffee, put it in unexpected places, coffee, making the puddings, and then just get real food because you're going to feel so much better. And you're going to keep your muscle mass or build muscle because we lose 8% of our muscle every decade over the age of 40 until we get to 70, and then it's 15%. So my husband's 70. And he's battling that really hard. I mean, he's, looks good, but keeping that muscle on, it's sarcopenia. It's a real thing. It's like our president, Biden, he's walking around falling down a lot because he doesn't use his muscles anymore. He's lost so much muscle. I'm not trying to be political. I'm just using him as an example. Yeah. He's lost his muscle. Your muscle is the glue that keeps you together, right? Yep. So you don't want to become frail as you get older. So like I said, the technology has changed. HRT, getting enough protein in, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight or goal weight. If you're over 200 pounds, and I say that lovingly, go for your goal weight in grams of protein. A lot of people don't talk about that. I mentioned HRT and, lifting weights. So those 3 things will really make a big difference. And the peptides help too. We haven't touched on that, but we can if you want.
Yeah. Oh, man, there's so much. There's so much. And, and not to overwhelm everybody. I mean, it's like, there's so much to learn, but if you're new to all of this, it's like, take it step by step. I mean, there are levels to this but the best thing to do is just get started and to educate yourself, because once you really start to understand, and that's why, I spoke about Clare's book. Once you really understand, a lot of time I get DMs all the time when they'll say like, what should my macros be? Or like, how do I know if I'm eating enough protein? And I'm like, and see women like Clare and I take it for granted because we're like, well, we've been doing it and it's what we know. Yeah. But a lot of women really don't. They don't.
Yeah, no, they don't. Or they think they do, and then they've got it all backwards. I've got a free macro calculator on my website too, claremorrow.com. You can use it. Go use it. It'll help you. I just started. This is kind of fun. I dragged my ass on this for months because I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. But when Instagram started the subscription thing? Yeah. Where people can subscribe to you to like get extra help. So I just launched that like a week ago, and I've been having a lot of fun with it with these ladies because $10 a month, I'll help you with your macros. I'll help you answer any question via voice text. Over the app and just anything that you need. And I've been posting some exclusive content too. So if you need help with your macros in that way too, I'm happy to help. It's only $10 a month, and believe me,
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I just feel like I need to help people at a deeper level. So, and I do online coaching and all that too, but that's a full blown program with training and all of that. So.
Right. And there's something for everyone. And if you're somebody who, it doesn't matter what level. I mean, you can help people at any level. I mean, if you just want to get started, just to learn the basics, just to educate yourself about nutrition and how you should be eating or movement or where your steps need to be or, weight training. It sounds overwhelming. I know to hear Clare say, oh, I go to the gym 5 times a week. For some women, they're like, 5 times a week? Where would I find the time to do that? But it's like, that's okay. Like, you don't have to don't compare yourself to where Clare's at. I'm sure when you were just starting, all the knowledge, and same thing with me, we had to come a far way to educate ourselves on our bodies and what we needed to do and results. And we had probably, I've fallen and messed up so many times learning Right? I mean,
that's how you learn. You got to fall in the shit to learn.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, when I first started, I went too gung ho. I was like a Jack Russell and I grabbed a hold of it and I wouldn't let go. And I was training 7 days a week and you don't want to do that. You got to have off days. And I was like, what do you mean I got to rest? I don't wanna rest. But when do our muscles grow? When we rest, right?
Right.
So if you overtax them, they can actually shrink. So it wasn't like these shoulders. Oh my God, I used to train them twice a week and wondered why they weren't growing like everybody else's was.
Yeah.
So now I just train them hard once a week and dang, if they didn't grow.
Right. Sometimes people don't realize like less is more. A lot of women will think more is better, more is better. Okay, the more I train, the more. And it's like, no, you've got to like hit them, tear them down and get the heck out, feed them, rest them, let them grow and build back stronger. Like, let's not overcomplicate this. Like you don't have to. And a lot of people think if you're not sore and exhausted and tired or you're not working hard enough.
You're probably not eating enough.
And you're probably not eating enough.
Or you're overtraining. We have a saying in bodybuilding too. Muscles are torn up in the gym, fed in the kitchen, and built in bed.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's it. And it's so true. And look, I've even done podcasts with my friend Steph where we talk about, same thing. We went so hard and for years I couldn't grow a butt and I look like a string bean. And I look back at some of my photo shoots and I was like, but I was killing it. And it's like, yeah, I was killing it. I was exhausted. I couldn't function. Like I had brain fog. I was grouchy. I mean, there's the overtraining. Overtraining is a real thing. And
it is.
You're not going to get there faster.
No, you're not. You're gonna end up going backwards because, like I said, think about a marathon runner when they run every single day. They're running their muscles into mincemeat, so they get long, lean, and stringy, which is fine if that's what you want to look like. I'm just using them as an example.
Sure.
But most of us want to have a butt. We don't want to. We don't want to have no butt at all, as they call it.
Yes.
No butt at all disease.
Yes.
So, if you're trying to build a booty, and so many, there's a lot of misconceptions on how many times, you should work your glutes. For me, I do it at most twice a week. So I'll do lower glutes, legs, and then I'll do an upper glute workout, later. But sometimes I do it every 5 days too. It just depends on how my body is healing. I'm over 50 and girls, let me tell you, when you get over 40, you do not heal up as fast as you do when you're 20 and 30 years old. 3 days a week, sure. If you're 19, 30, but when you're over 40, not so much. So if you're training your glutes 3 times a week and they're not growing, I guarantee you're not resting them enough.
Right. You're not resting them enough. You're not feeding them enough. It's just, and that's just facts. I mean, my recovery is not the same as years ago. I am sore. Days,
right? Like, I'll go kill it and then I'm just sore for days. And that's okay. I mean, I'll just wait for it to grow, wait for the soreness to go away. People ask me that all the time. How do you recover? You got to eat enough. You got to eat enough. You got to make sure you're resting enough. Don't overdo cardio because, again, the marathon runner, if you're doing a ton of cardio, elliptical included, you're pounding those glutes into the ground, right? So I'm putting my fist into my hand here.
Yeah.
You can't always see what I'm doing. So you're literally overtaxing the glutes. So they're not going to grow.
Yeah.
I learned that the hard way in my first few preps. Now, when I go to prep for a show, I'll go from 10,000 steps a day to 11 to 12. And shoot, by the time I got on stage this last time, I was doing 15,000 steps a day. Just movement. That's where we burn those calories. That's our all-day activity. And the rest of it is diet and training.
Yeah. And walking is so easy. It's like if I knew that, I used to kill it with cardio and the stairs. I mean, I'll still do cardio. I still do cardio because I enjoy cardio, but I also know its place. And I also know that like I'm eating, I eat to support what I'm doing and whatever, but steps are my go-to now. Like I rather take my dog on a nice long walk and just get steps, especially if I'm not feeling it. I'm like, let's just go for a walk. And I'm like, geez, that was easy. Like if that's what it tells.
Exactly. I mean, think about how many, things you do in a day. You're going to the mall with the kids, or you're taking the dog for a walk, or you're going to the grocery store. I mean, these are just examples. Wear a watch and track your steps.
Yeah.
Just know that these watches work off your arm movement. So if you're going to be like holding on a treadmill, put your freaking watch on your ankle so it actually tracks it correctly.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that. Sorry if you hear me sniffling, I'm getting over a cold. So forgive me. My voice is all jacked up and I'm sniffling, and I'm glad I haven't sneezed yet because I sneezed like so much today. But anyway.
So okay, so here's a question for you. Do you ever have bad body image days? Does body image ever affect you? Like real talk, like, for the women listening.
I think body dysmorphia is a problem for all of us, whether it be a deeper level or not so deep. When I first started, I wanted to stay lean all the time. I wanted to see my abs all the time, and that's just not realistic. You just can't. And I learned that the hard way too. You can't live and do that. You got to feed your body. And the more muscle you have, the more you can eat, ladies. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I just went and did a VO2 thing where they put the oxygen on your nose, and you breathe into it fasted for like 15 minutes, and it measures your metabolism.
Yeah.
That's the coolest thing. So it said I could eat 1,650 calories just sitting around doing nothing. I'm like, winning. And he said for my height and age, normally it's like 12 or 1,300 for somebody.
Wow.
Right? So I'm like, oh, that's cool. Okay. And I just got off a show too. So it'll probably go up a little bit in the next month or so. Because
muscle for the win. Muscle
yeah,
for, I mean.
That's what I'm trying to say. You can eat more calories and get away with it, which is a beautiful thing. Now it takes time to get there. But it's worth it. It's truly worth it. So yeah, as far as the body, dysmorphia thing, I think we all look in the mirror and go, oh, I need more muscle, or oh my God, I've got an imbalance here. Or bodybuilders tend to look in the mirror and see what's wrong, versus what's right.
Yeah.
This year going down to prep, my first show that I did this year, I felt really good about where I was. That was the first time that I really felt good about, okay, I'm confident going on stage, right? My skin doesn't look like a bag of shit. Being 50.
Yeah.
By the way, I just got a skin tightening machine. Badass freaking.
Oh, wow.
Go to the freaking spa to do these RF frequency things. And I bought one for the house for like $1,000. Best thing ever. I started using it. It helps tighten your skin with RF and ultrasound.
I need that for my legs. My legs are so crepey.
I need to send you the link for this thing. It's been freaking awesome.
Please do. I'll do my inner thighs and legs all day.
Yeah, for real. Because you can do, it has facial attachments. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent.
Oh, okay. We need that information.
Yeah, if you're interested in that, hit me up on Instagram.
Yeah.
I can share the link with you. I just did a video on it on TikTok. But anyways, oh shit, now where was I going that? 50-year-old brain.
Yeah, so body image.
Body dysmorphia, yeah.
Yeah.
So and that was the most confident I think I felt about to step on stage. I felt like, and then as we carved up, I just was getting more and more full. And I was like, oh my God, where'd these quads come from, right? I was like, what the hell? So I felt really good about it. So the reverse diet is the hard part. So if you do compete, or when you get to your goal weight, if you don't compete, when you start, eating normal calories again, you're going to gain weight really quickly. Here's what to do so you don't end up in that boat. At 100 calories, so let's say you were eating, I'm just throwing a number out there. Let's say you were eating 1,500 calories a day. Go to 1,600 for a week. Track your progress. Like, don't go by the scale. It's not accurate. Take measurements, pictures, week to week. And if you don't gain weight, which you shouldn't, go up another 100 calories the next week, or stay at 1,600 for 2 weeks and then go up 100 the next week. That's how you successfully reverse diet, so that you speed your metabolism back up as you bring your calories up, because the metabolism slows as your calories get lower, but you can also reverse that and go the other direction. So that's what we do for reverse dieting. It's good information. A lot of women don't know how to do that, and they end up gaining all the weight back faster that they just lost. So,
and that's devastating, because it's a lot of work to lose weight. And I did a reverse diet for the first time, like last year. I got up to I think I was eating 2,300 calories at one point. And I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. Now I wasn't totally lean and whatever, I like to be, but I was like, okay, I'm going to embrace this. I'm eating 2,300 calories, and yet my weight is staying steady. Now, when it was time for me finally to do a little bit of a cut and a pullback, I was able to lose body fat with my calories. I get 1,800 calories, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm eating all this food. This is fantastic. Exactly. It's worth it. It's scary at first, because you're really? Should I be eating all this? But you got to trust the process.
Yeah, you really do. Like I said, you can bring your metabolism up as after you brought it down. You just got to be, really diligent about that. But you're 100% right. With the VO2 that I mentioned a minute ago, the 1,650, that's at rest. That's doing nothing. So
that's amazing.
Getting up, moving around, working out. So, that told me and my activities that I could eat 2,500 a day on my active days. And I'm like, winning. I'll take it.
Wow. Oh, yeah, that's amazing. It's something that I think a lot of women are scared to do. I know that because I've spoken about my reverse diet on my Instagram, and the women will respond, oh, I could never, or, oh my God, my body would put on weight so fast. And all of a sudden I get all this and I'm like, Oh, this is sad.
Because they don't know how to, they don't know how to reverse diet.
Yeah.
Once you learn how to reverse diet and understand how your metabolism works, then you're going to be okay. Your body adjusts to what you're doing. So if you go down on calories, your body's going to adjust to it. And you got to go lower and lower and lower after a period of time, mind you, to see results. So it works the other way too. When you speed up your metabolism, you go higher a little bit and higher a little bit, and your body comes up and it adjusts and it comes up and it adjusts. So, just know that our bodies are freaking smart as hell, and they're hard to outsmart. Like, okay, it's 2023 and we haven't figured out how to stop fat storage. Really? Come on, technology. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's like crazy. But I went off on a tangent on that one too, but you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The closest they've come is some of these new peptides. The 5-aminos 1-MQ that I told you about, that one stops your body from producing new fat cells and or storing new fat cells. So if you, you still can't eat like an asshole. But
right.
But when I started taking that this year for my prep, I dropped weight a whole lot quicker. So technology's starting to kind of come around.
Yeah.
But they need to hurry the fuck up.
Yeah, really. I'm like, come on, while we're still, in this game, geez. And it's just, it's sad. Like a lot of times when I put recipes up, of devotion, and like, I'll have like a quarter cup oats in like a loaf or something. And then the women are like, is there anything we could do to replace the oats? I really don't want my carbs that high. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, well, I don't know what you wanted to replace it with other than, it's like, oats are fine, and, yeah. I mean, what other kind of things do you see? What do you hear the most that you, like a myth that you'd like to bust?
Exactly what you're saying. The oats too. The best kind of oats are the steel cut oats because they are less processed. Yeah. So I batch make my oats. Yeah. And measure them out cooked. So I do mine in ounces. Okay. I cook mine with monk fruit, sugar, and did you ever try that monk fruit sugar I recommended? I don't know if I ever sent you the link or not, but
I have not tried it, but I should.
I send it to you. Girl, okay. There's no sugar alcohols in that one at all. It's awesome. It's the only one I found.
Oh, okay. So
I have an Amazon favorites page for those of you listening. That monk fruit sugar is the only one I found because you can't get them at the grocery stores without sugar alcohols in them, and sometimes those ethyltrols can bloat you really bad. Yes. So this one's been amazing. So I put that and cinnamon in my steel cut oats, and I batch cook it. And it's all gluten-free too. Gluten-free will be better for your stomach. Yeah. So if you get the more processed oat, whether it's instant or, rolled, just make sure it's gluten-free. The ones I use, I have on my Amazon favorites page. If you want something easy to go to, just search my name on Amazon, Clare Morrow, Clare, and you'll find it. But so oats are fine. And you're right. A lot of women are, one, afraid to eat. Two, afraid to eat carbs, and they think fat is the answer, and it's actually the opposite. You don't want to eat a lot of fat to lose fat. Yeah. Now, let me say that again. You don't want to eat a lot of fat to lose fat, right? Yeah. Some good fats are great. I'm not saying don't eat them, all right? Just don't get your fats too high and then wonder why you're not losing weight. So if you're eating a lot of salmon every single day and you're not losing weight, but I'm eating healthy, but you're getting too much fat. Right. If you're doing that, stick with the whitefish. Salmon's fine once a week. Steaks have a lot of fat. Mm-hmm. Bison is a much better replacement for it, but it has twice the iron and way less fat. Whitefish will be your best friend when you're trying to lose weight. Halibut is my favorite. Cod. I don't like sloppy because it's a bottom feeding fish. No thanks. Yeah. Oh, God, you ever heard anybody catching one of those things? No, because it's farm raised. Yuck. So I don't like those. Chicken, chicken breast, low fat. The one you can find is low fat. 99% lean ground turkey. My cookbook has the most amazing recipe, and I don't know if you've tried it. The turkey shepherd's pie. I have that screenshotted from you in my phone. I have to do that. I know there's so much stuff I need to still do, but you need to make one of my recipes out of my cookbook. Yes. Show the cookbook.
I will.
It's so good.
I will. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make that for Greg. Greg's a good person to test all recipes on because he's so open to trying. And my kids are getting there too. Like they're, sometimes they'll look at me and be like, but Greg will be honest.
It's also good with beef or bison too. Same recipe.
Oh, okay. Oh, he loves bison. I should do the bison. Yeah. Bison, yeah. Now, do you ever what is your take on refeeds or cheat meals, or like, what is your take on that? I want you to talk about, because of some women, it's like, okay, so they're sticking to a plan, but then they want to know, well, when can I go on a date with my husband, or when can I just enjoy myself? Like, what's your take on that?
my advice is just don't eat like an asshole. You're going to go backwards.
Yeah.
Cheat meals are fine. Just don't do cheat days. That's where you get in trouble and hate yourself because you're bloated.
Yeah.
Stick to your plan, go out to dinner, do your dinner, get back on plan the next day. That's my advice. Would I do it every week? No. For my body, we go out to dinner maybe once every 3 weeks, just because, I like my own food. I don't like to drink anyway. And we just don't go out that much. We do, but not, and now this time of year, God, Thanksgiving. Okay, I'll admit it. I ate like an asshole on Thanksgiving. Did I care? No. I got right back on plan right after, and it's fine. But yeah, this time of year we got like Thanksgiving, and then my birthday's on the 16th, and then Christmas. So it's like boom, boom, boom.
Right.
So,
Yeah, no. And this time of year, it's holiday time, and it's a tough time of year for a lot of people because it's one thing after another, and it's holiday parties and, New Year's Eve, and it's like one excuse to eat hors d'oeuvres and appetite, like all this stuff and desserts, and they're all very calorically dense party foods. It's not like, what party do you go to and they're serving like steamed vegetables and rice and no, it's, so chances are you go to a party. I mean, you could go to a party and easily eat, a few thousand calories easily just, with appetizers and dinner and desserts and drinks and stuff when you think about.
Absolutely.
And you do that.
Does not take much.
No. And you do that a few times in December. It's like, it's going to add up, and it's a tough time for people.
A lot of people gain about average 5 to 10 pounds during Christmas. Some of that may be water weight, but, that's okay. Us health coaches will be there for you January 1st. No?
Yes. And you know what? Keep getting the movement. I mean, that's one thing where I'm like, at least if I know, like, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to a party. I know the food's going to be really good, but like, I'll get in a good workout before and after. I'll get my steps. I'll make sure that I'm still moving. Not that like I get home and I'm just like laying on my couch and it's just like letting it all just sit there. It's like, put your body to work and push it into your glutes.
Yeah, exactly right. That's the thing, like when I finally built some glutes, it was weird. The first time I really filled them up, I felt like I was wearing diapers. Like I literally had, my butt was filled up with glycogen. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I like this, Right. And to this day, I love going out and getting a cheat meal. And that feeling is like, I feel my work back there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what carbs are. That's why so many women are scared of carbs, but it's like, oh my gosh, if you're using them correctly, they'll fill out your muscles. You'll have that beautiful athletic look. And really you'll see your hard work more if you're eating the carbs. If you're going to the gym and you say, well, I don't see any results. It's like your muscles need the carbs to fill out to really come alive.
That's exactly right. When people do these keto diets, you're going to look like a sack of shit. And if you're older, if you're older, you're going to look skinny fat because the carbs fill out your muscles, like the pop on my shoulder here. You're not going to see that, unless your carbs, the glycogen is in there to fill out those muscle fibers. Your muscles are built a lot of water too, so they need a lot of water. But I know it drives me crazy when they're afraid to eat the carbs. But the most important time to eat your carbs is an hour before you lift. And within an hour of finishing your lift. So, try to get your protein every meal, protein and carbs for sure. I eat my carbs all day long. I tend to have a salad and protein at night. Yeah. I don't eat a lot of carbs on night unless we go to dinner. Yeah. I just don't. And I try to stop eating. Not that I do not do intermittent fasting. That's no. Yeah. No, it's all about your calories, how many calories you eat, not your meal timing. So, I try to finish my dinner just because I don't like to go to bed full. Yeah. 2 to 3 hours before bed, and then you're fine. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? It's funny because I think you've obviously probably done content on this, but like any plan, and this episode's going to air, I think, pretty close to New Year's. And I know everyone's going to be trying to figure out their weight loss strategy. Any diet that has a name is probably not going to be sticking with you for that long. Just, we're like, I have guests that I have on my podcast are always about, it's a lifestyle. It is. Yeah. And it's really about sustainable lifestyle changes that you can take throughout. It's not, when you follow somebody like Clare, you're seeing Clare, she's staying consistent. It's not like she's like, oh, well, this month I'm doing keto. And then next month I'm doing I used to follow people like that. And I'd be like, you're batshit crazy. Like I'm following you because you just did Whole30 and then you're on paleo and then you're doing keto. And and I'm like, I can't even keep up with what diet you're doing. You're telling me this month to do, I'm like, and you look the same. Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. No, you're right. If your diet has a name with it, you don't need it. All you need to do is eat whole natural foods within your calorie deficit, whatever they may be, and everybody's deficit is going to be different. I cannot tell you how many calories to eat because the calculators help you with your activity level, your height, your weight. Susie, who's 5'7" and has a office job and lifts, is going to be different from Sally,
Exactly.
who's 5 foot and has what she walks but doesn't lift. Right? You see, the calories are going to be very different. So that's why when you see these coaches, people say, it's taboo to give you your calories. No, we just don't know. We just need to know your activity level and who you are and your stats, and it takes a while. So, that's why as coaches, we got to figure it out and get it right for you. But the calculators will help you a lot as well. So yeah, you just need to be eating whole natural foods within your calorie deficit. If you're over 40, I highly recommend HRT to get your body running right again. Take your digestive enzymes, your probiotics.
Yep.
Because bloating is a real thing as we get older. By the way, I just started using a Trantil. I met with a gastro doctor because I was when you start reverse dieting, you bloat easily too. By the way, when you undereat. And when we compete, unfortunately, we have to undereat for a short period of time. And I was bloating really bad. And I went to go see the gastro, and he invented a Trantil. And I started taking that, fixed my problem. Amazing stuff, all natural. So, I'll send you a link for that if you want. I put it on my website. But anyway, I love that stuff. So, the bloating is a real issue as we age. So just make sure you're doing all those things and lifting weights 4 to 5 times per week. Okay. No full body workouts. They don't work. Please heed my warning on that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's funny. We just did a podcast this week with somebody about weight training, and they said the same thing. It's like, focus on the body part, the 1 or 2 at a time, and then, and move on. And then another day, focus on another one. The full body stuff is, I mean, that's
BS.
Yeah. So guys, again, if you want to really dial in on what you're doing, and like we said, there's different levels of wherever you are. Clare's book is a great place to start. Obviously, follow Clare on all of her social media platforms. We will make sure we link you in all of the posts that we do. We'll collaborate with you, all of those things. And then obviously, Clare coaches people. There's all different levels. Whatever you feel that you need, there are resources there to get you to where you want to be and to also help to educate yourself, because for the long run, you want to understand your nutrition, your body, and there are people like Clare that are there for you and are putting out solid content every day to help educate you to be the best you can be this year. So thanks for being on my podcast, Clare.
Oh, girl, thanks for having me. One of these days I'll get down to South Florida, and I appreciate it so much.
For sure. And we're going to do this again because there's some topics that I do want to just talk about. So this was like a great intro, and everybody can understand who you are and what you're all about and your philosophy, which we discussed today. And then we'll break into other topics in the future. So,
sure.
Yeah, well, thanks for being on. And thank you guys for listening to Until It's Done, a devoted podcast.